Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Text with Nan. This is Nan demonstrating about sum versus SUMX tax functions which we use generally in Power BI. Let us explore more onto it. What is sum and what is SUMX? Just quickly give you a definition about each of these functions. Sum, it basically adds up all the numbers in a column. When you want to get a total or sum of the values of a column, then use sum function. It doesn't require row by row operations, which means whatever the values you have in a column, it sums up and give the results as a one value. Whereas example is sum of sales amount. Okay, and next is max. It returns the sum of an expression evaluated for each row in a table, which means it evaluates for each row in a in a table. For example, if this is a row, it evaluates for each row and it sums up, it aggregates on top of it. That's a SUMX. When you have to do a calculation row by row context, then you need to use SUMX. So it is a SUMX is a iterator function, which means it calculates for each row in a table. Example is SUMX of the unit price multiplies order quantity. Okay, which means this multiplication, which the operation, which is a unit price multiplying quantity, which happens for the each row and calculates, stores in a memory, and it sums up on top of it and shows the result set. So that's the SUMX. Okay, I'll just quickly show you an example here. So these are the different orders we have. Okay, for each order, this is unit price and this is quantity. So when you do a SUMX, so it will not do like a sum of the quantity unit price, sum of the quantity. This is a sum of the unit price. This is sum of quantity, and it does not do the multiplication of both. What it does is it multiplies unit price by quantity for each row, which means this is one. And if you see, this is a multiplication of these two different columns, unit price and quantity, then it sums up at the end. So this is the actual results what we are expecting. Okay, so it we can achieve this by using some X functions. Let us go and let us get out into the Power BI. So we have got order days table. Okay, we have got quantity, we got unit price. Okay, so I would like to see this total revenue for all the orders. Okay, I want to see the total revenue for all the orders. Let us use the SUMX function and we can achieve this. Okay. I'm going to create a measure function. Measure. Click on new measure. Okay. So I'm just writing the measure name is total revenue. As I'm using it SUMX, I'm just writing in braces. So SUMX. The function is SUMX again. The table is order details, right? Order details. Expressions. Expression is unit price multiplies quantity. Okay. If you see this, unit price multiplies by quantity. So that's the expression. Right. So you got a measure created here. Let me bring that measure into my canvas. So let me bring a card, single record. Bring the total revenue measure. You see, $1.35 million is the total revenue for all the orders. Okay, this is a resultant of quantity and multiplied by unit price. Unit price, there it is, and then it is summing up. So I wanted to cross check whether it is actually giving the correct results or not, right? For that, what I've already created a calculated column called revenue. I'd like to show that revenue column expression. That is the simple direct operation of unit price multiplied by quantity. I'll do a sum on top of it. We can use a sum function in this case. We can use a sum function. Okay. Let us quickly create another measure on top of the revenue column. So this is total revenue. As we are using sum functions, I'm just keeping it as sum of revenue column. Okay. Click commit. Let us cross check it. Now the measure has been created. Let us cross check by adding this newly added measure into single record. See, exactly it is showing. So total revenue using SUMX is exactly same as the total revenue using sum, right? So, but when to use this sum and SUMX, right? So, for example, I have already created, I achieved this using sum only, right? We didn't use SUMX, but we achieved it. Why do we need to use SUMX? That's a question, right? So, when you have a table, fact table, generally fact tables holds millions of records. If you don't want to store a physical column of revenue, since if you want to only use a total revenue, so if you see this total revenue column, calculated column, it's a physical column, right? It it calculates for each row and stores in I mean whatever the million number of records it calculates and stores it. If it is not required, you don't need to store a column. Unnecessary it is taking extra space. Simply you can use a total sum x. Using total user sum x, it also gets the same results, right? So that's the reason. That's how you can differentiate between these two. So when you don't want to store any column, you can use sum x. If you want to store a column, you can create a calculated column and do a sum on top of it. Okay. I'll quickly show you another example for sum. So I have another factoring into sales table. So I have got a sales amount. Okay. The sales amount, if you drag it for each order or for each customer, you'll get it. But I want a sales amount for total, right? Or total tax amount and all. So it's just simply create a measure total, create a measure on top of it, which is a total sales amount. That's another way of you know for creating a sales amount, total sales amount, sum of sales amount. You see this is coming from factoring in the sales amount. Yes, that's right. This is another. I'm just showing you one more time about the how we can when to use sum function. Just bring it here. So just change this visual into the card. It's $29 million. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's it about it. So about difference between the sum and sum x. Thank you. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe my channel. Please do comment if you have any questions on this topic.